You should be sitting here.
Thank you for this beautiful tradition.
With your permission. Anybody would like to read the translation of this question? Yeah.
So the translation of this bhajan, the first one, Oh Gurudev, O spiritual master, give to this servant just a drop, one drop of mercy. I am a lower than a blade of grass. Give me all help, give me strength. Let me be as you are, without desire or aspiration. I offer you all respect, for thus I may have the energy to know you correctly. Then, by chanting the holy name in great ecstasy, all my offense will cease. When will such mercy fall to this one who is weak and devoid of intelligence? Allow me to be with you. If you examine me, you will find no qualities. Your mercy is all that I am made of. If you are not merciful unto me, I can only weep and I'll not be able to maintain my life.
Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गौरिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासवी गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm Sita Devi Dasi and I've come from Mumbai. I just arrived today from Bombay and I'm very, very grateful to Jiva Pran Prabhu and actually I'm very, very grateful to Mandakini Mataji. She's the reason why I'm here today. My only desire was to come and meet you here in Paris and she has made all these arrangements for me to come and I'm very, very grateful to be here in Srila Prabhupada's temple, Radha Parasishwar, and we have read in Lilamrit so much about these deities, Radha Parasishwar, and Prabhupada described Radharani as the most beautiful girl from Paris because he said all the girls in Paris are very beautiful. We have example of Mandakini Mataji, the most beautiful, and and we are so honored to be here, and we can really see the impact that Srila Prabhupada in last 50 years, has done, and we can see such beautiful devotees here, a temple. Even after 50 years, we have a temple here, and Radha Parasishwar, they are still here, giving their grace, distributing their mercy to all of us, and we are like sitting here right in front of them. And who else we can be grateful for other than Srila Prabhupada, who brought Krishna consciousness here to this land, in the West.
Just Mataji, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to present to the congregation who you are. Especially, we have a great opportunity to receive Mataji. She just came today from India. She traveled all over the world to preach the message of Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Dev. She's by profession a dentist, and also she's helping in a village, some village, and also some Matajis to how to live sustainable life and be independent and how to do sustainable work. She's inspiring many the Matajis who don't know how to read and write but know to do some work. And we are very grateful to receive Mataji today here. It's a great opportunity. We have to hear you. welcome you. Maybe everyone can chant a Hare Krishna Mahamantra once to welcome.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Sita Devi Dasi Mataji ki.
Joy.
Thank you, Priya Rani Mataji. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Haribo.
Thank you so much, Priya Rani. Sita. छोटा सा नाम है. So today's topic, which I was given, was such a, a topic which all of us, every day of our moment, every morning that we wake up, we realize this Guru Kripa. Isn't it? Today we were hearing this bhajan, the whole bhajan, the mood of that bhajan, you could hear that how the mood of a disciple is. So Guru Kripa. So what is the meaning of Kripa? Can you think of something? What is the meaning of Kripa? Mercy. Kripa is actually meaning is causeless mercy. Kripa is different from Daya. You know what is Daya? Daya is you have a reason to give Daya. When you see somebody sick, downtrodden on the road, suffering, we feel Daya. But Kripa is when, there is a reason to give that mercy to somebody. But Kripa is causeless mercy. So Guru Kripa means it is, yogyata vichare kichu nahi paye. Tomara karuna sara. There is no reason, there is no qualification, there is no cause to receive this mercy from the spiritual master. That is Guru Kripa. When we have no actual qualification, but still we are receiving this mercy from Guru. So actually we are actually sitting under this like an umbrella of mercy which Srila Prabhupada has created by giving us this shelter of Radha Parasishwar. So we are, only by Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beej. So the bhakti is like a seed which is growing in our hearts. It is in a very, very, weak stage right now. We are very like a creeper which has no support. But that seed, we have to protect it in our hearts with all, care, just like how we take care of a creeper. So similarly, this seed will come into our heart only by the mercy, the causeless mercy of Guru. I mean, that is what the Shastras say. It is not because of any of our qualification. Sometimes we think that, we judge our bhakti according to worldly means. Like in the world, how do we calculate things? You do something, you invest so much money, you will get that much returns. You put in so much effort, you will get that much returns. But actually, in the spiritual terms, whatever bhakti we have, like that seed of bhakti we have, and whatever progress we make in the path of bhakti, is nothing based on calculation from the material sense. It is only by the mercy, the causeless mercy of Guru, and then later on, the causeless mercy of Vaishnavas. Because the Shastras say, Adho Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha. The first step is Shraddha, that is the faith. That faith in our hearts gives us the chance for this seed of bhakti to fructify and to grow. But only by the grace of Vaishnavas. Because if we think that we can do bhakti without the association of devotees, that is the biggest illusion that we can ever be. The only way that we can progress in bhakti is by the association of devotees. So, the greatness in the all the Shastras, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's like the PhD study of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the basic principle that Chaitanya Charitamrita teaches? Shri Radha Pariseshwar Gauditaya Ki Jai Jagannath Bandesh Pujani. So what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Chaitanya Charitamrita teach? The glorification all throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita, mainly if you see, is Vaishnava association. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he is the Supreme Lord. If he wanted, he could have just come alone and accomplished everything. But he came with his associates, the Panchatattva, and he came with all the devotees to show that bhakti can be practiced only in the association of devotees. So we see that all throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita, the, the concept of causeless mercy is always glorified. So there is a amazing story in Chaitanya Charitamrita about a great devotee who received the causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is the devotee called as Vasudev. So Vasudev was a great devotee, but he was afflicted with leprosy. He was in the most advanced stage of leprosy. And his consciousness was such that, I mean, imagine if you have leprosy in today's day and age, you are shunned by the society. You are, in fact, pushed out of the city, and people live in, camps. They are rejected by the society. So he was rejected by the entire society, and nobody was even, ready to come near him. And but his consciousness was such that his whole body was full of leprosy. His fingers were falling off. And in those wounds of leprosy, there were worms. And when the worm would fall from his wound down on the floor, he would pick up that worm and put him back on his body. Because his consciousness was such that I am so fallen. But the only service that I am doing is that my body is giving shelter to all these worms. So this is the only service that I'm doing. So let me give, shelter to these worms. That was his consciousness. And Vasudev was always yearning, for the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for the darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And one day he came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming, and he came, he couldn't even walk. He was like literally dragging himself. And finally he reached the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come, But unfortunately, because he was so slow, he couldn't reach on time to get the darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already left from that place. And you can imagine how disappointed he must be. He was so devastated, he felt as if, his life has got no value or meaning anymore. And he was almost like so depressed that he was going to leave his body. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he went little ahead, and something in his heart told him that I should go back. And it's actually the love of Vasudev which was pulling him back. And he came back, halfway he had gone, and he came back to that place, and he came right in front of Vasudev, and he saw Vasudev, and you can imagine how Vasudev felt so happy to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came straight and he just embraced Vasudev with all his wounds and his leprosy. Would anybody do something like that? Would we do? Go and just hug somebody who is like literally there's pus oozing out of all his wounds. And Vasudev was like pushing, going away from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming and trying to hug him, you know. And Vasudev is saying, no, no, please don't, there is so much pus coming from my body, you will get infected. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was still coming and hugging him. And he asked, how are you not feeling disgust when you see me? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when a mother cleans the potty of the baby, when her own child passes stool and urine, she feels that it is like chandan, the smell is like sandalwood. She never feels any, disgust when she's cleaning the toilet of her own. So, with this example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to him that my love for you is like how a mother feels for a child, who's completely dependent on the mercy of the child. And the mother has this causeless love, with no motive. So this is the connection between the Supreme Lord and a pure devotee. So, and as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugged him, as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Vasudev, there was a miracle. And the miracle was that every wound, leprosy wound, just disappeared. Every wound that was, oozing with pus just completely disappeared. And his whole form, which had become disfigured with leprosy, nose had fallen off, fingers had fallen off. Everything got, you know, everything just went away. And he was granted a beautiful body, very, very beautiful body. Now imagine if such mercy comes on us, what will be our feeling? How will we feel? We all will be very happy, right? If we are suddenly the most beautiful or most handsome person in the whole world, we will feel very happy, right? But Vasudev was very, very unhappy. He was so unhappy, he started telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I did not want this. I did not ask for this. The only thing I wanted was your darshan just for my purification. But you are giving me this causeless mercy, but I don't feel that I'm worthy of that because I was happy. Because I was happy when people did not give me any respect, when they were pushing me away, when they were ignoring me, when they were keeping me, shunning me. I was very, very happy because at that time I had only one shelter, and that was your lotus feet. I had only one thing which was making me, the only thing that I was focusing on was getting the mercy of your lotus feet. And now you have given me this mercy, you have come and given me a darshan, so causeless mercy you have given me. I don't want anything more because because you have now made me the most handsome and the most beautiful body, this is more an impediment for me. Can you imagine that? Can you understand how the mood of Vasudev was? That this beautiful body, this healthy body is now an impediment because the only thing that it can cause is pride in my heart. Because then I will start feeling that I'm entitled. You know what is meaning of entitled? You start thinking that I deserve all these things. I deserve the mercy. Does it remain causeless then? You start thinking, no, I deserve it. So this is the biggest disqualification for me for bhakti. Unless I understand that this mercy that I'm receiving is causeless, that is the only thing that was keeping me alive in my bhakti alive in my heart. So what a great lesson we are learning from the life of Vasudev, that Guru's mercy is causeless. And causeless why? Because we don't have any qualification to receive that mercy. We are just, like Srila Prabhupada says, to all his Western disciples, they asked him actually, what is our qualification that we have received this, you know. Prabhupada said that no, the qualification is given by the Guru. The Guru's mercy is the only qualification that we have. So this is a wonderful lesson we learn from this story, is how we can prepare our consciousness to receive the mercy of Guru. Srila Prabhupada's mercy is everywhere. In fact, we are sitting right under, before Radha Paraseshwar. This is the greatest mercy. And what should be our mood? That how we can receive this mercy with a mood of feeling that we are not qualified, we are not entitled to get this mercy. But we are just here to receive that mercy and pass it on. Give that mercy to others. Because that is the only way that we can get that consciousness of giving this mercy to others, preaching this message to others who are really needy. And we are so fortunate that most of us, we are all from the holy land of India. Bharat bhumite haila manushya janma jar janma sarthaka kari kara para upkar. So the word para upkar also means giving this kripa. Become like these carriers of this mercy. The duty that we have is to become carriers of this mercy. So that is the consciousness that we must have. So I would like to give one more example of Prahlad Maharaj. You heard the story of Prahlad Maharaj? Before even he was born, you all know that he was the son of Hiranyakashipu himself, who was the most dangerous, the most cruel demon. He was so, everybody was so scared of him. Even the demigods were fearful. And even with the move, even if he raised his eyebrows, everybody would like shiver. And all of them consulted together and they thought, if he is so, terrible, and so imagine his son who's just about to be born, how dangerous he will be. He'll carry all those qualities of, Hiranyakashipu. So it was decided that Narad Muni would go and go to the wife of Hiranyakashipu, who was pregnant at that time. Huh? Yeah, she was kidnapped by Indra, but Narad Muni was chosen to, to speak to her and tell, give her Bhagavatam, teach, speak the Bhagavatam to the pregnant, so that they can transform or try to give this mercy. This is also causeless mercy of Guru Narad Muni, that even though there was no qualification, he still went out of his way to give that knowledge to Kayadu, the mother of Prahlad. But Kayadu was not interested. She was not hearing the message. She was in fact sleeping when, she was dozing off. But Prahlad Maharaj, who was within the womb, he heard the entire Bhagavatam from the mouth of his Guru Narad Muni. And just by hearing this, the purifying words of Srimad Bhagavatam, there was such a great transformation in Prahlad. And within the womb of his mother, he became the most greatest devotee of the Lord. So this is the mercy that we receive through the Shastras, through the from Guru. We hear the scriptures, because that is the way how the mercy flows into our life. So the kripa of Guru manifests in our life, through three, it's like a tripod: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So these are the three important aspects of bhakti. And there has to be a balance of all these three aspects in our life: studying the scriptures and hearing from the Guru. Hearing the instructions from the Guru is the most powerful way that we can receive the mercy. And Srila Prabhupada is a living example of that. He's a great example how just one instruction from his Guru, he made it into his life and soul. And and we can see what an impact he created in the whole world. Srila Prabhupada also, he met his Guru at a time when there was such turmoil going on in India. There was a whole freedom movement going on. We were under the rule of the British. And at that time, at Ulta Danga, that holy place, Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj for the first time. And it was like an assembly, a program was going on, and he just entered and sat with his friend. And the first thing that Srila Prabhupada told as soon as he saw him entering is that you are young, and you should spread this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the entire world in the English language. So this is the direct instruction that he received from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and this is the first instruction that he received. And at that time, he had so many arguments, he had so many questions in his mind, so many doubts in his mind. And he put before him all these doubts that who is going to listen to this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who is going to listen to this, about Krishna consciousness? When the whole of India is fighting and struggling to get independent, we are under the subjugation. Who will listen to this? And is this really urgent? Because what we need to do is first we need to get free from this British rule. So at that time, Bhakti Siddha Saraswati Maharaj very powerfully cut down this argument, and he said that Krishna consciousness, this spiritual knowledge cannot wait for anything in this world. Wars, and these kind of situations will continue in this world, and it's a fact till today that's happening. One country is subjugating the other country attacking another. One is under the rule. These things are going to happen always. But this message of of Krishna consciousness, this spiritual knowledge is so important and so urgent that it cannot wait for anything. And that's the most important thing that you have to do first. So at that time, Srila Prabhupada said that all my doubts, were destroyed by the mercy of my Guru. He destroyed all my arguments and doubts. And he said, I received his mercy through his instruction. And through the instruction comes the empowerment. Because that's the day that Srila Prabhupada's life completely changed. And his whole life after that became a life of complete dedication to fulfill this one instruction of Srila Prabhupada, which is to spread this message of Krishna consciousness, which is a very, very urgent message today in this situation of wars that we are surrounded by. This message we can understand now is the most relevant and it is most needed in the world today. The only modern peace formula that Srila Prabhupada said, is if each one of us just understands Bhoktaram Yagyatpasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Brichati. Shantim. The only way to get shanti or peace is if we understand that Lord Krishna is the supreme controller. He is the Loka Maheshwar. He is the proprietor of everything, every land, everything, every person. We all are coming from Krishna. We belong to Krishna. So, what is the conflict about? He is the supreme enjoyer. But why is there so much wars all around? It's because we think we are the enjoyers. Each one wants to lord over whatever we have. It's like a dog mentality. Like if a dog comes into, a new dog comes, that all the dogs start barking. It's because they cannot tolerate, because they feel they are the proprietors of that land. So this philosophy, this knowledge, Srila Prabhupada he has given us, he proved in his life that whatever mercy he received from his guru, he did not just keep it to himself. Even at the advanced age of 70, when everyone retires, and he was in the best place in the world, if you go to see. He had retired, he had completed all his duties, and he was staying in Vrindavan. It's not that his life was, he was really in the most beautiful place in the Radha Damodar temple. If you have gone there, if you have been to Radha Damodar temple, you just step out of Prabhupada's room out and you can see the beautiful deities. And from his window, he could just look into Rup Goswami's Samadhi directly and Bhajan Kutir. I mean, how safe place is that? It's like the safest place in the world to be in the shelter of Lord. But he gave up that safe situation of being in that very easy, nice life, and he came to, can you imagine, he came to the West, a place like New York, which is the most difficult place to live. It's a city where, and he came with nothing. What a big risk. He took such a big risk at such an advanced age, which is, it's unthinkable for any one of us to, even imagine. And that is his reciprocation to the mercy, the Guru Kripa that he received from his Guru. His whole life he dedicated for that. So from that we can only, pray that we can just follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada and we can become just a tiny, insignificant instrument in assisting Srila Prabhupada in his mission and becoming an instrument in the hands of our spiritual masters. And that is the best way that we can reciprocate with the kripa, the causeless mercy that we have received in our life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there's any question or comments, we can discuss.
মাতাজি যা বক্তৃতা দিলেন তার উপরে কি আমাদের যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থেকে থাকে তাহলে পরে আমরা যেন করতে পারি, যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থেকে থাকে বা কিছু থাকে।
Please, due to the situation of Vasudeva, why is it that he was unhappy for that space? Is it because he deserved it due to his past karma, or just that he feel that he wanted to die due to
So the consciousness of Vasudeva is something, Vasudev is not something like ordinary people like us can really, try to imitate. We cannot be like that actually. But because he was in that very, very, kind of an intimate relationship with the Lord through bhakti. It's like we have not experienced that, but when you are in the pure bhakti stage, the loving reciprocation that you feel with the Lord is so powerful that even though he was suffering so much, his bodily is suffering, mentally is suffering, emotionally he must be suffering, but his suffering was completely over, it's covered by the love that he was receiving. So for him, the suffering was not suffering because he is receiving so much love from the Lord internally. And there was so much reciprocation with the Lord internally that his suffering was not suffering. For you and me, when we suffer, we really suffer. And we deserve to suffer. When we suffer, we really deserve to suffer. But in our minds, we are fighting and resisting because we don't want to suffer. We feel, why are we suffering? I'm so good. I'm doing bhakti. I'm chanting 16 now. Why am I getting this? Why is somebody talking so rudely with me? Why am I not giving the rasgulla and the other person gets? And we have all these petty reasons for feeling as if we are suffering because we are entitled. We think we are entitled. That is what he was resisting. He was upset because he doesn't want to be entitled. To start thinking that we deserve this causeless mercy. Whereas in his case, he had accepted that suffering. This is my suffering because of my past sins. But we don't accept so easily. We keep suffering, but we keep thinking that why are we suffering so much? That's because we have not tasted that bhakti. So for us, for ordinary people like us, we have to first cultivate this consciousness, very, very, uh, we should use the suffering that we have in our life. We should understand that this suffering, whatever I'm experiencing, this suffering is so that I can understand the value of the mercy that I'm getting in this. By getting the chance to be in the association of the Lord, get the chance to chant Hare Krishna, to get this opportunity to be, in this movement is itself such a blessing. So our consciousness should be that. So we are already struggling with the pride and this entitled feeling. So as ordinary people, we should just work on reducing that. Not think that we are entitled to get this mercy. We should always cultivate that mood that I'm not qualified. That is the healthy, if you want to check your temperature, you have to check like this, your pulse. So the way to check your bhakti is how much do you feel that you are entitled, and how much do you feel that no, I am not qualified. So how much harder I should work, how much more stronger I should, you know, practice the bhakti process strongly. Is that answering your question? Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for the class. Sometimes, as devotee, we say, okay, I'm not qualified, therefore I don't take any decision. I don't do nothing because I'm not qualified. I don't want to take responsibility because I'm not qualified. So could you please tell us a little bit more how to find this balance?
So a devotee who you know who thinks that that I am not qualified, and and because of that I cannot take any responsibility is actually, it's like it's the biggest illusion that we are putting ourselves in. Why? Because the path of bhakti, you know, the guru gives more empowerment, more mercy to a person, to a disciple who takes responsibility. So the what is the meaning of devotional service? Devotional service means like we take up services or responsibilities, you know, so that we can purify ourselves. And see, any kind of responsibility that we take in our life is something which we will is through that process of devotional service, through that process of that responsibility only we will make progress. So a person who says, oh, I'm not qualified, I just don't want to take any responsibilities, I want to be in the background, is actually not really benefiting from this the process, because they're not taking that opportunity to they just want, it's like giving excuses. So, and all of us are in that, we go into that situations in our life where we minimize ourselves. We feel, oh, even though I have these qualities, I don't want to use it in the service of Krishna because I'm not qualified. This is your mind coming in between. Sometimes you have to put yourself aside. Your mind is actually coming in the way of your service to your guru. That is the I that Krishna talks about. I, that capital I. That capital I, when you start thinking that you are something, then you start thinking, oh, I am not qualified. I am not qualified. Who is this I? It's you're making yourself, your false ego, come in the way of your service. So that is something which is the biggest illusion. So we have to be always careful and wary every day when we are chanting our rounds. What are we chanting when we are chanting? Please engage me in your devotional service. Please engage me. And then when we get engagement or chance to take responsibility, then you say, oh, I'm not qualified, I can't do this. So what is this I? I is coming in between your service. So many times we have to, that's why practice that any responsibility or service in Krishna, say service for Krishna can be difficult or easy if you just take yourself away from the equation. Whatever it is, if you think it is, I'm just an instrument to do that service, then you will not, let your own mind become a limitation for you. Because sometimes this is like a story that we tell ourselves that, oh, I'm never given any importance, I'm not qualified. So you stay in the background. But you think that you are in the background, but actually in your mind, it's your ego which is making you not do that service. So it is not actually really you believe that I'm not qualified. So thus that is not really helping us progress in our bhakti. So I don't know, it's a little complicated. Maybe I hope I